From our cottage in Utsjö, I had looked out over the mountain grouping of Anaris, or Anarisfjällen in Swedish, and now I decided to hike through them, going from Vallbo over the mountain station Anarisstugan to Höglekardalen with 2 overnights. Starting out in Vallbo, the trail goes up through thick fir forest and over Hällådalen, that is a large flat bog. It was a very warm Swedish summer day of about 25 degrees, but luckily some wind in the open areas. After Hällådalen, you pass by Gravelroad, a Sami summer settlement, through more thick forest before reaching Anarisfjällen, a valley created by the ice flows during the last ice age 9,000 years ago. In general, you can drink the water in the Swedish mountains straight from the stream as long as it's flowing. At the end of the valley is a little lake where I stopped for lunch. After leaving the lake, I hiked up the slope to the plateau. There is a trail on the north side of the mountains, but I wanted to go over and through Hällådalen, or the Hällå Valley. Crossing the plateau, you pass by many kettle holes left after the glaciers receded. From the plateau is a steep rise of about 400 meters, quite strenuous, and I had to take a lot of breaks to drink and enjoy the view at the same time. I found a very small stream, and to be safe, I used my water filter. At the crest, before I reached Hällådalen, is a small lake where I stopped for a tortilla with peanut butter and jam. I had originally planned to camp here, but it was too windy, so I continued further down in the valley. After a few kilometers, I found a nice spot, flat ground and a stream close by, so I pitched my tent. It was only around 5 in the afternoon, but I had hiked 20 kilometers and had about 650 meters in elevation. It was a very warm evening, and the sun didn't disappear behind the ridge until 10 at night. After a good night's sleep, the next morning I enjoyed quite a good freeze-dried muesli, packed up my gear, and I was putting on my backpack when this reindeer ran by. Setting my first goal for Anarisstugan, mountain station 7 kilometers down the valley, I passed a lot of creeks, and then the landscape opened up to a very broad view. Anarisstugan is a small mountain station manned by a caretaker in the summer, and you can rent a bunk bed or camp in the vicinity. But my goal was to walk on and camp closer to Höglekardalen, 15 kilometers away. After crossing a crazy bridge where I had to crawl, the landscape started morphing into a low brush consisting of firs, birch and juniper, and a lot of biting black flies and mosquitoes. So I just trooped on. My plan had been to camp on a lower hill before Höglekardalen, but I couldn't find any good water source, so I kept walking. When I came down to Höglekardalen, the road turned into an ordinary gravel road, and looking at the map, I couldn't spot any decent places to camp, so I decided to walk the remaining 14 kilometers to the trailhead at Höglekardalen. So, when I finally reached Höglekardalen, I had walked 35 kilometers the second day, totaling 55 kilometers in 2 days, and instead of pitching my tent, I rented a small cabin and got to rest my weary body in a bed. All in all, a good hike, very nice until Anarisstugan. After that, the terrain and insects were quite tough, and the last stretch of gravel road was quite boring. So my recommendation is to hike Vallbo to Anarisstugan and back. The next morning after breakfast, my wife picked me up and we continued home to Stockholm, quite satisfied with my hike. Until next time, this is In the Wild with Chris, and I'm out.